A retired judge who was nearly killed in an attack that still has not been solved is finally talking. The attacker assaulted former Judge Tom Fitch in his law office on a busy street in the middle of the day. Tonight, in a special assignment report, Kim Holland talks to Fitch and his wife. The video you're about to see is very graphic, but the family asked that we show it to underline the brutality of this attack.
I mean, I just knew there was something wrong.
I don't remember.
He was so battered, and it was just really horrible.
Someone viciously beat former District Judge Tom Fitch at his law office 2 years ago. His wife, Polly, found him lying in a pool of his own blood. Fitch was in a coma for weeks, and when he awoke, he didn't have the answers detectives were seeking.
I don't remember anything of that day and for several days thereafter. Kind of frustrating. I wish I did.
Today, investigators are still looking for his attacker. Police are releasing new information in hopes of catching the person responsible. The attack took place throughout the law office as someone beat Fitch with a blunt object. He fought back until detectives say he was beaten unconscious. At some point after the attacker slipped out of the office, Fitch regained consciousness and made it to the front reception area where he collapsed.
His injuries sustained were pretty severe.
Detectives say the door was locked, so there's a chance that Tom Fitch let the suspect in. Police scoured the building. They looked for tire marks, shoe prints, but nothing panned out. But the suspect did leave behind something very personal, his fingerprint.
The fingerprint impressions that were located in the office were blood, or in blood, so I'm fairly sure that that's the individual that we're looking for.
But officers didn't find a match in a national database.
It appears that the attacker was intending to harm just Mr. Fitch. There wasn't any property missing. His vehicle was still at the scene.
Police do have persons of interest, but not enough for an arrest. Still, investigators believe somebody in the community knows something.
This happened in the middle of the day on the main street in Socorro. Someone has to have seen something. And they may not even know they saw something.
2 years later, life is now drastically different for Fitch. Even though his scars are hardly visible, he's lost hearing in his right ear and vision in his right eye, and he's had to give up his law practice. He was known as a quick-thinking chief district court judge who presided over cases like the Torreon cabin murders in 2000. Today, Fitch, who used to share a law practice with his wife Polly Tausch, doesn't even have engaging legal conversations like they used to.
And we don't have those discussions anymore. So that I miss.
Tausch hopes one day something will trigger her husband's memory because clearly a chunk of it is missing. That was evident when he told us about his love for photography and what he likes to do these days.
I also take courses at New Mexico Tech.
But his wife had to remind him those things happened years ago.
Tom doesn't do photography anymore.
Tom Fitch still does have his sense of humor, but they would both live a little more lightheartedly and stop living in fear, knowing the attacker was off the streets.
If we can figure out the who or the why, because we don't even know from where the danger came.
On special assignment, Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
The family is offering $5,000 for information that leads to an arrest. You might recall, incidentally, Judge Fitch resigned from the bench in 2005 after he drove drunk and ran a county-owned vehicle off a road.